hello. Oh, set to go. Hello, hello, we're set to go on with the Front Porch Show. It's Dynamo, Magnifico. Hello, hello, we're set to go on with the Front Porch Show. We'll share a laugh or two. Big smiles for me and you. Hello, hello, we're set to go. Hello, hello, we're set to go on with the Front Porch Show.
Live from St. Mary's, it's the Front Porch Show. This week's special guest host, Liane Gregory-Sterritt. This is Don Van Dalen along with Joseph Flynn on the banjo. Join Liane and her guests, Andrea Macko-Hodges. Marlene Forman from the Teddy Bear Picnic. Musical guests Tom and Carolyn. Plus our regular features, community calendar with Peter, and another exciting edition of Alternate Facts. All tonight on the Front Porch Show.
We'll share a laugh or two. Big smiles for me and you. Hello, hello, we're set to go. Hello, hello, we're set to go on with the Front Porch Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Liane Gregory-Sterritt.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Don. It's a pleasure to be here, and hello to you out in social media land. Hi there. Hi there. Do you know we actually broadcast across the globe? I'm not kidding you. I'm going to do some shout outs to some people that have been emailing us, and whatever you do on Facebook, you tweet on Facebook, whatever the hell you do on Facebook to let us know that they're watching us. So you might be wondering, I'm in a bit of a tux here right tonight, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One, because this is a special little event, like for me to be guest hosting this, it's great. Yeah, thanks. And the other one is that usually on all the other episodes of this show, on this stage, the best dressed person has been Don Van Galen. And yeah, I thought I'd give him a run. I thought I'd give him a run for his money tonight. I'm not wearing suspenders. All right, so like I said, this is a special event for me. I was really excited when I was asked to guest host this, and that's because this show celebrates things that I love. I love St. Mary's. This show celebrates St. Mary's, and really, ultimately, it's also celebrating community. And we've got that here in St. Mary's. We've got community spirit in St. Mary's, and the guests that we always have up here are people that create and generate and build community, and you're going to see that later on in the show. And I just wanted to let you know, hands up here, anybody here lived in an urban environment? Anybody here lived in an urban environment? Yeah? Yeah, okay. Now, some of you haven't. Some of you have not lived in an urban environment. And do you know what? Those poor people in urban environments, they truly do not know what they're missing. And a lot of people say, well, what does community mean, Liane? Like, what does it mean? And it is hard to describe. But I can tell you, the driving is really different, right? Because in Toronto, right, they're important people, right? I don't want to do Toronto bashing, but they think they're very important people. And they drive everywhere. They got a lot of things to do, right? So they got to go and they got to be there and they got to merge into that lane and butt over here. And if you don't let them in, they give you a finger or they do something else. But in St. Mary's, you can't do that. Because that fella there might be your barber, right? Or that's their bank manager that you've got to go talk to. So the community, the size of us and, you know, how we all are here, it breeds civility. When I first moved here, by the way, I'm a CFA, full disclosure, I'm a CFA. Anybody know what a CFA means? Come from away. That's exactly what it means. It means come from away. So I am not a born and bred homey like some of you. So who lives here in St. Mary's? Who lives here in St. Mary's? Hands up. Okay, now keep your hands up if you're a homey. Oh, wow. Oh, look at that. So most interesting. Most of the people here that are in St. Mary's are actually CFAs. Interesting. I've been musing a little bit about community and all that sort of stuff. Now, I want to tell you another thing that a lot of people, when they come from an urban environment, just don't get, is when they see, or I mention to them, you know, we've got a bridge that has one lane, right? And they go, oh, yeah, the one-way traffic? No. It's got two-way traffic on it. Now, this boggles the mind of a lot of people, right? It's like, you've got one lane and two-way traffic? How does that work, Liane? How does that possibly work? I said, well, you've got to be an alert driver and a polite driver. You've got to look ahead and say, oh, did you arrive at the other side of the bridge first, or did I? And then you cooperate and you let the other person go, or they wave you on and then you go ahead. I don't think they have a lot of one-way bridges in Toronto. Correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. There are no one-lane bridges in Toronto. It would freak them out entirely. Traffic would shut down 100%, and there'd be lots of lawsuits. All right, so that's my little spiel about St. Mary's. But I did say, remember that we're going we go global here. Now I'm going to do a few shout-outs here. Just one moment as I go to my piece of paper. Talk amongst yourselves for a sec. Right. So within the continent of North America, let's say a big shout out to Monica Dominic in Portland, Maine. Hi, Monica, are you watching this episode? Hi. And we got Rich Miller in California. Hello, Rich. They're all clapping. You might not be able to hear them clapping, but they're clapping just for you. And let's go over the ocean. We got Ian Way. Hi, Ian in Bournemouth, Dorset, UK. And then we're going to go even further. Say hello to Hilawe and Kate in Jeddah, and Ala and Najat from Mecca. Salam alaikum. And still within that region, in Istanbul, we even have Jada and her family watching us, and Kubra Erdogan in Istanbul, Turkey. So welcome to you all, and you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the devious and devilishly delicious mind of Don Van Galen, we've got the next episode of Alternate Facts.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's your favorite part of the show, Alternate Facts. Tonight I do have another devious story to boggle the mind, but of course everybody wants to know, why would I possibly participate in Alternate Facts? Well, we all know that we spare no expense. I mean that, no expense, to get you these handcrafted and wonderfully ornate sculptures reportedly made by local artist Peter Rice. But those are for the winners, and for winners, we need our special guests to join us downstage here, ladies and gentlemen. Please give them a warm welcome. Keep the applause coming till they actually get down here. Thank you. All right, we're going handheld here, so we're going to have a little bit of noise and unraveling. There we go. Thank you. Thank you for joining us for Alternate Facts. You know what's on the line here, fame and fortune. And you know, all that stuff. Yeah, don't look at the answers. Actually, they're here. We're good. Anyway, so our contestants are Nick, and
I'm Jessica.
And Jessica has brought along
Maeve.
Okay, you know, this is going to be the first three-way competition in Alternate Facts history. Anyways, so the audience knows how this works. I'm going to give you a story. It may or may not be true. It may be an alternate fact. You must determine, just like Kellyanne Conway. Anyways, in Rome, this is from Reuters, believe it or not, and I mean that, believe it or not. Italy's highest court ruled on Friday. You know those PETA people, they're all over the place, you know, they're always advancing rights for animals. Anyway, they've been at it again. Lobsters must not be kept on ice in restaurant kitchens because it causes them unjustifiable suffering before they head to the death. And we all know what happens to lobsters. They get boiled in hot water. So, I mean, gee, would wonder, why that would be, so much more of a problem, for them to be cool before that happens. Judges accepted a complaint from an animal rights group against the owner of a restaurant near Florence, of all places, who kept the live crustaceans on ice and ordering them to pay 2,000 euros, which at the time was almost $6,000, and a further 3,000 euros in legal fees, upholding a sentence by a lower court. That means actually 2 judges agreed with this. The Cassation Court, I thought it said crustacean court, but no, it says Cassation Court, ruled that the fact that the lobsters are usually cooked while still alive does not mean they can be mistreated beforehand. Okay, while this particular method of cooking can be considered legal by recognizing that it is commonly used, apparently commonly used ice is not an appropriate thing to do. And that's the way the judges saw it. Rather than keeping the lobsters and other crustaceans refrigerated, the court said it was already common practice in high-level restaurants and supermarkets to keep them in oxygenated water tanks at room temperature, which of course would be a lot more close to their natural environment of the ocean. Ladies and gentlemen, my question to you. First of all, what do you think of the story?
Very detailed.
Very detailed. I do like to make them very detailed, or at least find a story that's very detailed, whatever the case might be. Anyways,
yeah, Maeve, do you think that's true or false?
Not true.
Not true.
Maeve doesn't think it's true.
I think it does. I think it sounds true.
Kristen, right? Jessica, pardon me. That's not in the script. And
That's her alternate name.
that's her alternate name.
That's true.
It's true. So 2 trues and one
true.
and one not true. Well, okay. It's a good thing that I have 2 of these things to give away. Oh, don't stand in front of the microphone, Don. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we all know that at least 2 of these, or maybe one of these, is the winner because none of them decided to, or one of them decided not to go with the majority here. But what does the audience think?
True.
True. False. Got 1, 2 false? Okay, so there's a few false, but the majority seems to be going with that this is actually a true story. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, you're right. This is a true story from Italy, where I guess if you want your lobster, you better not like it cold. So we have 1 set to give here, and another. Oh my goodness, there's a $5 bill in there. How did that happen?
Wow.
There we go. There's our winning contestants on alternate facts. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Don. You prove yourself once again to be devilishly devious. But they saw through your potential alternate fact and saw out that it was the
It's a
truth.
50-50 proposition.
Yeah, that's true, that's true,
You
that's
have
true.
to give them a little bit of hope.
That's true. Well, now we're going to take you to our next regularly scheduled event on these shows. We've got for you, instead of Marie Stevens, who is on vacation, hi Marie, we have got the effervescent and multi-talented Peter McCash to give us our community update.
Well, hello. It's a Front Porch show. Oh, sorry, no. I didn't get promoted to that position. Okay, tonight's community calendar, we have 3 events for you. Every Wednesday in August is Melodies at the Museum. This week features Steph Martin and Friends, concerts on the front lawn of the St. Mary's Museum. Bring a lawn chair or blanket, and admission is by donation. On Saturday, April the 19th, St. Mary's will travel back in time as it hosts the 6th annual car show, located at picturesque Dunwell Field, right over here. There will be an array of vintage classic and custom vehicles parked along the banks of the Thames River. The car show features a show and shine, best vehicle contest, local food vendors, music, and more. And finally, Teddy Bears Reunion is this Sunday, August the 20th. I think he knows. The parade is from the high school at 1 o'clock. The reunion and all the fun is at East Ward Park. And coming up later in the show, Liane will be talking with reunion organizer Marlene Forman. For more information on these events and more, look online or in our 2 local newspapers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. That was effervescent. There's a lot going on in this here community. So, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned in my opening monologue, there are a lot of people in St. Mary's dedicated to building and creating community and some wonderful things in it. And our next guest, I don't know how she's even fit in enough time to appear here tonight. She's one busy lady. Please welcome to our stage, Andrea Macko-Hodges. Hello. All right, so Andrea does a lot of things, but Andrea's here to talk to us about a time capsule.
Yes.
And so
I am.
We've got that very well cleared up now. Excellent. So where did this idea about doing a time capsule come from?
Well, it actually came from Stratford. I've been helping the Stratford's sesquicentennial. I now know how to say that, and it's August.
You said it very well.
Thank you.
Yes.
I've been helping them with their social media for all of their events this year, and they were actually doing 2 time capsules. They had one digital one and one traditional in the ground one. Oh. And in looking at what St. Mary's had planned, like we had an awesome Canada Day celebration. I think we can all agree on that. It was fantastic. I just got to thinking, why not do a time capsule this year? It's a special year, and we actually have a pretty cool place to bury it in the ground because the Wellington Street Bridge is being dug up and rebuilt.
Oh, so that was going to be one of my other questions is where are you going to put it? So it's going to be at the south end, the north end? We've got that figured out yet?
We believe that it's going to be at the north end of the bridge. It won't be in the bridge because that's, from what I gather, and
structurally unsound?
Well, not unsound.
Yeah, could be.
Just more challenging and expensive than digging a hole and burying it in the ground.
Right. Okay.
So we're going to go that route.
Okay. So how are we going about figuring out what goes into this time capsule?
Well, I, along with town staff, are sort of finalizing those details now. But the plan, more or less, is to solicit submissions from people in the community via an online form, and there will also be hard copies available at all the usual locations. And then a small committee, I'm on it, Counselor Amy from the museum, and anyone else who's interested in being on this committee will sift through the ideas and kind of make a decision based on what we get from there.
So is this thing, like, how big is this thing? How big things can, like, is it this big? Is it this big? How big is it?
Well, interesting story. You talk about being in a community and me doing all kinds of things.
Yes, yes.
One of the things I do is co-own a funeral home. And we bury things.
Yes.
People, loved ones. So we actually have connections with a vault company. And we have an urn vault. So not a full casket type vault, but an urn vault, which is about 2 by 2 by 2. So it's going to be about that big. So the items for inclusion can't be massive. Right. But you never really see time capsules that are, 8 feet by
I don't know.
4
I don't
feet.
think I've ever seen a time capsule, personally. I don't know that I've ever seen one.
Me either, to be honest.
Right. Okay. So this is kind of new for you. You're just kind of winging it.
It is, but I think we can all agree that time capsules are really cool. If you've ever seen one being opened or contributed to one, they're just a really neat community building project.
Right. So what's the time period? When's it going to get open?
Well, I would in this little plan, I think 50 years is a great time frame because, as many of you know who are from the community, there's people who are born here, live their entire life here, and then pass away here. So people can, kids especially and youth can contribute to this thing and then come back in 50 years and be like, I remember doing this, or, I had a role in making this happen.
Right.
So there's still that connection, like waiting 100 years is nice in theory, but there's not as much of a connection with the community then.
Right. No, that's a great idea. So so we figured out how we're going to protect this. It was going to be in a vault. Because that's a question my father-in-law had. He's a very practical man. And the first thing he wanted to know was, ask her how they make sure things are safe in there. So you got that figured out.
Got the vault.
But here's my question, more of like an organizational, administrative point of view is, how do you make sure they know they're supposed to open it up in 50 years? Like, there's going to be different people out there on the town council and that, right?
Oh, absolutely. But the idea is to get a plaque engraved to put either on the new bridge in a tasteful location or right on top of the time capsule, or, you know, something practical, but a plaque saying, you know, time capsule buried here 2017, please open in 2067.
Right. So we're going to have a ceremony to bury this?
Yes, the plan is to have the ceremony when the grand reopening of the bridge takes place, and that's I don't want to say scheduled, but we all know how building happens, but that's scheduled for around the end of November.
Ah, okay. So if it's not the end of November, I guess you got to wait till springtime.
Well, the ground, it does take a long time for ground to freeze all the way through.
Well, you would know that in your current profession. You would know
yes,
that. You would know all about ground freezing. So yeah. I'll take it from an expert. So like if we said here, the producers here of this show, that we wanted to put something in there from the front porch show, what would be a good thing to put in, maybe a time capsule from this show?
Well, the focus for the capsule is local items of importance. Like, we don't want...
Like this show, right? Like this show, yeah.
Maybe, but we don't want, like, you know, we don't want items like, here's a set of Canadian coins, which are cool amongst themselves, but you can see those kinds of items in a museum, online, etc. So what we're looking for are very St. Mary's type items. And, you know, we do have to deal with how technology evolves, which is an issue. So if we keep it really
tactile, like tangible.
Yeah, exactly. Tactile and lo-fi, basically, instead of high-tech. Then so more photos, and then that works well in allowing for more items into the vault.
That's right. That's right. And when do people need to try and get their submissions into your committee, or even to tell you, hey, hands up, I want to be on the committee?
Well, first of all, if you have a object in mind, see if you can locate it, and like the actual object. That's a big help. And secondly, the online submission form and the hard copy forms haven't gone live yet.
Okay.
We're still finalizing.
So people can just start thinking now.
Start thinking now. It's going to be released in the papers and online when the submission form and if you want to help out on the committee request. So that will be made very public. You know, probably at the rate we're going with this summer, early September. So start thinking now, and then come you know, Labor Day, when all the kids go back to school, start thinking about it in earnest, and we'll go from there.
Great. Well, thank you, Andrea. Thanks for the great idea, and thanks for chatting with us today.
My pleasure. Glad to be here. Thanks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, this is a live show, and that also includes going to commercials, which are also live. So here you go. Our first commercial.
Well, hello everyone. I'm Joe for Hire Lawn Care Services, located right here in St. Mary's. And a couple times I've been here already, we've always heard the joke, who cuts the lawn on the Walton show? And the response was Lawn Boy. Well, today I brought 2 Lawn Boy mowers. So they're commercial mowers. They're built extra strong. This one was purchased new by my grandfather when I was 12. I'll let you do the math to see how old this thing is. It's never let me down. And they're 2-stroke, so the gas is mixed in with the oil. So on these hills in St. Mary's, they're great, you know. And some of the safety features, this one has an on-off switch and a little flap at the back. This one, as Avery's showing, has a handbrake. So when it's engaged, the blade's on, and when you let it go, the blade's off. So this one's obviously a little bit more safer than this one. And they're great on hills. They're aluminum decks, so they don't rust out as easy as some of the other ones. And I use these quite a bit. This is my main mower. This is the backup one here. And I'm just going to ask my assistant Avery about some of the what some of the safety tips would be for operating these vehicles. So Avery, Would it be safe to stick your hand in the more when it's running to pull out the stick or some leaves or anything?
No, it wouldn't, just in case it gets cut.
Yeah, it could cut off your hand. What about if you're wearing flip-flops? Should you be running one of these with flip-flops? And then what if your feet slip underneath the deck?
No, you shouldn't, because they could get cut.
So you likely should wear steel-toed shoes like what I'm wearing right here. And for safety glasses too, you should wear safety glasses in case a stone or anything else flies off from underneath the deck, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, folks, so yeah, again, I'd like to thank everyone from the Front Porch Show for having us on. This is my third appearance here. Love coming out, love being part of the community. If you want to get a hold of us, you can contact me on my home phone number, 519-284-3201. I'm on Google Business. I'm also on YouTube channel under Joe for Hire. So if you look up Joe for Hire on YouTube, I'm there. I usually show a lot of videos about me talking about cutting lawn and showing off my lawnmowers. And if there's any young kids out there, this is a great way to start a business. This mower was loaned to me by my grandfather. This was the very first piece of equipment I had to start cutting grass. I used to load it in the trunk of my car. So it's been a great start. It'd be really nice to have everything brand new, but hey, you gotta start somewhere. This one's done a great job and has allowed me to get the bigger jobs. And now I have a truck, so it's a lot easier to haul around. So everyone, thanks again, and enjoy the show.
Thank you, Joe for Hire. All right, and please welcome to the stage now our second guest. This lady also just passionate about creating community and has a love, I think, for childhood. Please welcome to the stage Marlene Forman, organizer of Teddy Bear Reunion. Well done. That's Joseph Flynn on the banjo. Welcome to our show, Marlene.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're so pleased to have you here. And I noticed that you brought who's that?
This is my friend that lives at the store. His name is Albert. And if you notice my van sitting up the road there, that is Clifford and Edward, who travel on the roof for the next week until the Teddy Bear Reunion comes.
Oh, they don't sit on your car the whole year?
They're just up there for, actually, they're generally there for a couple of weeks, running a little behind.
Lovely. So I understand that the Teddy Bears Reunion has a really cool history, and I was hoping you could tell us a bit more about that.
Okay, it originally started in, John Bennett, actually, Ray Bennett's daughter, started this in 1985. And then she left for college, and she wanted someone to take it over. So Dad took it in earnest to take this over, and he ran it until, 2002, and he passed away, and we've been looking after it ever since. It's an honor to do it. He actually, it was my dad's life. He enjoyed it so much, and he left it in his will that I carried this on, so I didn't have much of a choice, but I've actually enjoyed doing it. It is a lot of work, but it comes together, and without the support of the town car dealerships, businesses, and companies help support it to help make the day go on. People don't realize that we buy 700 prizes for the games. The jumping castles cost us $1,000 for the day to get them to come. And we have pony rides, face painters, and it costs about $3,000 to put the day on. Anything we have left, we buy bears for the hospital and Ronald McDonald House and the ambulance.
Wonderful. Beautiful. So like you said, this has been going on for a few years. So how does that Teddy Bear Reunion, is it morphed? Has it changed? Are there new elements to it?
We have added a lot of things to it. When it first started out, actually, it was, they did hay bales sitting around with some games, and that's how it started. And it's just gradually growing with that. We have added things to it. We have, the pony rides are a big thing. We also have the paddle boats for the little kids now. And
yeah, paddle boats. Yeah. So somebody said to me, "Is it on this park?" But it's not.
No, it's at Eastward Park in front of the high school, and they come with a big inflatable water bed, and the boats are put in there, and then the kids.
Because that was a question actually my brother-in-law had last night. He goes, paddle boats? So
Yeah.
I thought,
Oh, they're little paddle
but
boats.
tiny little.
Tiny paddle boats.
Because he was hoping he'd fit in one, and so I'll have to
No,
disappoint
but he
him.
could come up and help.
Yeah, he could drive in from Sarnia. Cliff,
Yeah.
get on that. My husband's name's
Okay.
Cliff, so
All right,
just like
well,
the bear.
okay.
He's a teddy bear too. He's a cutie pie. All right, but he's not sitting on top of your car. No. Okay, hold on. No. Okay, that's good. All right, so so if somebody's going to come to this reunion, so we've got some games. Is there what kind of competitions you got going
First
on?
of all, we start out with the parade.
Yes.
And there's a competition for best decorated bike, trike, wagon, whatever, with the bears in it. And then we proceed to the park where there's games to play. And there's teddy bear judgings, which is, some of them are the largest teddy bear, the best owner lookalike bear, the best career-oriented bear, the best sports-themed bear, and teddy bear with the most friends, and the oldest teddy bear. Those are some of the categories which are judged on the stage.
Wow, career-oriented teddy bear. I had no idea that you brought out all these different elements. And what's a career-oriented teddy bear maybe look like? I can't even imagine what.
Well, you would dress them up as your favorite football player or your favorite hockey player or your fireman.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. So you think your dad would be proud of the
Yes,
work you've done?
you know what? This has been going on for 32 years, and we luck out. Every year we have not had any rain because it's open air.
Really?
Jerry Marshall puts up tents for us to put the games in, but we do count on the weather, so we're hoping for another day like today.
And which
Next
day
week.
is that going to
And
be?
it's next Sunday.
Next Sunday, the parade starts
at 1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock where?
And it starts at the high school, and we proceed to the East Ward Park.
Oh, that's sweet.
And we also have a bear that travels around the world in memory of my dad, and we call him CJ after my dad, Clifford James. And he is right now, he is in Iceland, but he will be back. He just came back from Africa and took off for Iceland, but he will be back for the teddy bear reunion.
Wow, that is one busy bear. Do you get to accompany him sometimes?
No, I take him to a few places, but he goes. Just people come in and say, "Hey, I'm going. Do you want me to take CJ?"
Wow.
So it's great, and then we have a picture taken with him at that place, and it gets put in his book.
Excellent. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Marlene. I really appreciate you coming on and telling us all about it. Thank you so much for carrying on your father's work. That is cool.
And thank you very much for having me.
All right.
Okay. We hope to see you all there.
Yeah. You see how much work goes on here? So Marlene's working on this just to create a lovely event for, especially, I think, the kids love it, but I think the grandparents really, really love it. It's a great thing for the grandparents to go to with their little ones. All right, so now we've got for you. Right. We've got some breaking news for you. That's right. And so we've got the producer here of Man of La Mancha, because this news story actually involves our next musical production here in St. Mary's on Man of La Mancha. Take it away, Don.
Thank you, Liane. Co-producer.
Co-producer.
The lovely Fern Pridham is assisting me in actually doing most of the work, as it usually turns out. So, of course, you all know that this show is an international hit, but we also want you to know that the people who show up and perform on this show are also national hits. We are pleased to announce that Miss Chloe Weir, who plays Aldonza in Man of La Mancha, this fall's SMCP production, and made her debut performance here 2 weeks ago on the Front Porch Show. Debut for the Front Porch Show, certainly not her debut. Anyway, placed first in the music theater division of the National Music Festival in Canada this week.
Yeah!
Congratulations, Chloe!
Way to go, Chloe!
You'll want to hear her singing styles this fall on Man of La Mancha.
Awesome. Way to go, Chloe. Thank you very much for that, Don. See, we have commercials and we do news as well. And
no weather.
Where's the sports? We're going to have, I think I've just come up with an idea. We'll do a sports cast next episode, or maybe not. Okay. So next up. Okay, we'll run it by that big guy. That's John. Okay, next up, as always, we have some very talented musical guests. And today, we have a duo. And maybe you saw them at those great Canada Day celebrations at Canso Park. They were there performing for us. So please welcome to the Front Porch Show, Christine Burchill and Tom Osgerby.
Thank you. We're going to start off with a great Canadian song written by Ian and Sylvia. For anybody who's been out to Alberta.
Four strong winds that blow lonely, seven seas that run high, all those things that don't change come one day. But our good times are all gone, and I'm bound for moving on. I look for you if I'm ever back this way. Think I'll go out to Alberta, weather's good there in the fall. I got some friends and I can go to working for. But I wish you'd change your mind if I asked you one more time. But we've been through that 100 times or more. Oh, some winds that blow lonely, seven seas that run high, all those things that don't change come one day. But our good times are all gone, and I'm bound for moving on. I look for you if I'm ever back this way. If I get there before the snow flies, and if things are going good, I could meet you if I sent you down the fair. But by then it would be winter, ain't too much for you to do, and the wind sure can blow cold way out there. Everybody sing. The strong winds that blow lonely, seven seas that run high, all those things that don't change come one day. But our good times are all gone, and I'm bound for moving on. I look for you if I'm ever back this way. Oh, strong winds.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. So first of all, an apology because I got your first name wrong, didn't I?
Yes, I knew you'd fix that
Yes.
eventually.
Yes. It's not Christine, it's Carolyn. I was so focused on getting Tom Osgerby's name right, his last name right, that I messed up your first name. So, you know, I can't do more than one thing at a time, obviously. Thanks so much for that Canadian classic. Yeah, like who doesn't know that? They should if they live in Canada, right? They should.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit, we'll start over here with you, Tom. Tell us a little bit about your musical journey.
Well, I started out, I was actually in my late teen years before I started playing drums. And rather than playing in some of the local pop bands, I started playing in my parents' big band dance bands. So it wasn't until I was on the road that I actually played commercial music.
Oh, all right.
And after that, I had the privilege of traveling all across Canada from 1969 to 1982.
Awesome. And for you, Carolyn?
Well, I started off at 16 playing the guitar with 3 other girls. We played in churches and coffee houses. Then when I was 23, I quit my day job and went on the road coast to coast in Canada. It was just myself, and instead of having a real drummer, I had an automatic drum machine. And then since then, I've been in different groups. I live near the Purple Hill Music Hall in Thorndale, and I'm part of the Purple Hill Show Band out there. And Tom and I play all kinds of places, so that's what I enjoy doing the most.
Cool. So you guys have had kind of separate musical careers, but then you decided to get together as a duo. So how did that happen?
Well, long story short, we were taking part in an old-fashioned fashion show where you dressed up in the old clothes and you sang the songs that go along with the era. Carolyn was there one time, and they put us together for a number, and it worked so well, and we got thinking, hey, we could sing together more often. Yeah. And that's what happened.
Awesome. And you said, yeah, you're not an automatic drum machine, so I'll take you.
Yes, that's perfect. Yes.
Excellent. So, and I just want to ask you, some of the events that you've done, aside from the highlight of being here tonight and doing this show, what's a couple of events for you that stood out for you, Tom?
Okay. During my last 5 years, I was part of a trio with a show band, and we had 27 instruments on stage. And we had the privilege of doing 3 showcases in Las Vegas. And they even arranged for, I have a picture of it, of the Sahara. It says Music Shop from Canada playing tonight.
Great.
That was my one highlight. And the other one is singing with Carolyn.
You don't get compliments like that from an automatic drum machine, do you? No. And for you, Carolyn?
The highlights for me in the music career are all the great musicians I've met. And quite a few years ago, I wrote quite a few songs, and there were 2 things in my life that I knew I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to record all my songs on a CD, and I wanted to be a mother. So I've accomplished those 2 things, and everything after that is a bonus.
Wonderful. Great, great. And you guys got some upcoming engagements you want to tell us about?
We'll be at the Teddy Bear Picnic.
Yeah!
And we had the privilege in Stratford. They have a boat that cruises the river, and we usually play on it every Friday or Saturday night.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I'm sure the audience would love to hear some more from you two. So these 2 are going to finish off the show for us with a couple more songs. Take it away. Thanks.
Thank you. You got to give a little, take a little, and let your poor heart break a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. Oh, you got to laugh a little, cry a little, until the clouds roll by a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. But as long as there's the 2 of us, we got the world and all its charms. And when the world is through with us, we got each other's arms. You got to win a little, lose a little, and always have the blues a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. You got to give a little, take a little, and let your poor heart break a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. You got to laugh a little, cry a little, until the clouds roll by a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. But as long as there's the 2 of us, we got the world and all its charms. And when the world is through with us, we got each other's arms. We got to win a little, lose a little, and always have the blues a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love. Oh, that's the story of, that's the glory of love. It sure is. Thank you. We're going to do a this is one of our favorite songs doing this together. It's an old Roy Orbison song that Susan Jacks recorded, and we do this song at a lot of weddings. Sometimes love will bloom in the springtime, but like flowers in summer, each will grow, and it will fade away in the winter when the cold winds begin to blow. When it's evergreen, it will last through the summer and winter too. When love is evergreen, like my love for you. So hold my hand and just tell me that you'll be mine through laughter or through tears, and let the whole world see our love will be evergreen through all the world. 'Cause when it's evergreen, it will last through the summer and winter too. When love is evergreen, like my love for you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's our show for this evening. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you, John, down there in Virginia, for giving me the opportunity to guest host for you. We'll see you back here next week. Good night, everybody. Take it away, Joseph.